What happened to me shouldn't happen to anyone, but I'm glad it did. My life changed the night I drove my drunk boss home after the company party. Her laughter echoed hollow in my ears as I made sure she got safely inside her house, conscious of the whispers that trailed me mere feet behind. People used to treat me like I was nothing, but that night I felt the weight of responsibility resting on my shoulders. The morning after was a brutal awakening. Victoria greeted me in the office with an icy smile that sent chills down my spine. A blurry photo flashed on her phone, painting me as a predator rather than a protector. My heart raced as I attempted to clarify what transpired, but the insidious undercurrent of power dynamics and racial stereotypes swirled around us, distorting the truth. I had to record our conversations, not because I doubted myself, but because I knew how swiftly the narrative could twist against me. Each HR meeting felt like a battleground. Victoria's smug confidence only deepened my resolve, but I wasn't fighting this alone. Enter Amanda Rodriguez, a civil rights lawyer who saw through the cracks in the system, and together we began building a case against her. Every email, every recorded conversation became ammunition for a fight that signified more than just a personal vendetta. This was for everyone who felt small under the weight of false accusations. On D-Day, when federal agents stormed the office, I watched Victoria's world crumble as she panicked under the weight of her own lies. The satisfaction of her denial contrasted sharply with the relief flooding my chest. I had stood tall when I could have shrunk back, and with that, I regained my narrative. As I returned home to my daughter, I knew that this wasn't just my victory. It was a triumph for anyone who had ever felt powerless. Justice may be slow, but trust me, it's worth fighting for.
Marcus, can you come in here for a moment?
Victoria's voice dripped with condescension, slicing through the muted whispers of the office. He hesitated, feeling the chill of her gaze even before entering her office. The door clicked shut behind him, sealing him in a box of tension. "What's this?" she continued, sliding a photograph across the desk, her manicured nails tapping impatiently. "You and I, in my bed." "What? No, I was just..." "What, driving me home after the party?" Her laughter rang hollow and sharp. "How noble of you, Marcus, but I'm sure we both know it wasn't just a ride home." His heart raced. "I was trying to help. You were drunk." "Don't play the victim," she snapped, leaning forward, smirking. "No one will believe you over me. You know how it looks. A black man alone with a white woman? It's not a good story for you." "I didn't do anything wrong. I recorded everything." He fumbled to pull his phone from his pocket, desperation thrumming in his chest. "Tage, record all you want. You're still a suspended employee while we investigate." She leaned back, arms crossed, her eyes glinting with satisfaction. "History is on my side. Good luck proving your innocence." "Proving?" he echoed, anger surging. "This isn't about proving anything. You're misjudging me." She waved him off, a dismissive, patronizing flick of her wrist. "You need to know your place, Marcus. Don't forget it." As he walked out, the weight of her words crashed over him like a wave, but deep down, he was steeling himself. He would not remain powerless. More than his job was at stake. This was about dignity and truth, and he would fight. Marcus sat in the corner of the bustling party room, swirling his drink and observing the laughter around him. It was a veneer of joy masking the undercurrents of tension, especially for him as the only black senior analyst. His gaze flickered toward Victoria, his boss, who was unabashedly indulging in her third glass of wine. When she stumbled out of sight, Marcus sighed and decided to follow. It was his responsibility, after all, one that left an uncomfortable knot in his stomach. The next morning, his heart sank as he entered the office, and the sight of Victoria's icy demeanor cut through him like a knife. "What happened last night?" she demanded, brandishing a blurry photo from her bed. The insinuation hung heavy in the air, suffocating him. He struggled to explain, each word feeling more powerless than the last, as she reframed their encounter into something sordid. The irony of her claim that a man like him could take advantage of her felt like a punch to the gut. HR's response, handing him a suspension while dismissing his evidence, was the last straw. The whisperings around him, laced with muffled laughter, punctured his resolve. In the quiet of the break room, replaying the previous night in his mind, frustration bubbled beneath the surface. The injustice was undeniable, and as Victoria smirked dangerously through HR meetings, Marcus felt a subtle shift within himself. It was unacceptable, and for the first time, that nagging frustration began to transform into righteous anger. He wasn't going to be silenced or diminished anymore. Marcus stood in front of his desk, internal chaos clashing with the calm mask he wore. He'd spent the morning replaying Victoria's drunken accusations, the icy look in her eyes cutting deeper with every thought. As the afternoon sunlight filtered through the window, a flicker of resolve ignited within him. "Marcus," she said, leaning against the doorframe with mock disdain, "how did you think this would end? Someone like you with someone like me?" He straightened up, the weight of her words dissolving slowly. "I think it ended when I drove you home, out of respect," he replied quietly, each word laced with clarity and courage. His confident gaze met hers, defiance creeping into his posture. Tenses. Days later, after gathering damning evidence and confiding in Amanda Rodriguez, he felt empowered. "You're not alone," she reminded him as they reviewed the recordings. "This isn't just for you, it's for everyone who came before you." That realization sparked a determination within him. With every email retrieved and every corroborating witness contacted, he felt a subtle shift. Small victories building a foundation for the fight ahead. When Victoria bragged to him in the break room, he turned on the recording app without her noticing. Her words, dripping with arrogance, were now a weapon to wield. It was a sickening irony that fueled his resolve. "I'm in control now," Marcus whispered to himself, a silent promise that buoyed his spirit amidst the turmoil. His heart racing, he'd begun the comeback, not just for himself, but as a beacon for others silenced in complacency. Every setback reflected on his brow felt like receding shadows giving way to a dawn of hope. The federal agents filled the conference room, a solemn wave of authority that sent a ripple of tension through the air. Marcus stood in the corner, heart pounding, waiting for the moment he had rehearsed countless times. Victoria, perched awkwardly in her oversized chair, faced the agents with a confidence that began to crack. They delivered their messages in calm, unwavering tones. The evidence presented, the recordings outlining her manipulations, her threats hidden behind a veneer of corporate charm. "You don't understand," she stammered, her bravado fading. "This is all a misunderstanding." Her eyes darted around the room, looking for familiar allies that had vanished in the face of undeniable proof. The agents remained stoic, eyes fixed on their papers as they detailed what had been uncovered. They recited her nefarious dealings, the hostile work environment crafted from her own misdeeds. Each note carved deeper into her facade, exposing her for who she truly was: conniving, petty, and utterly embroiled in a web of deceit. Marcus stood tall, an island of resilience. He recalled late nights spent reviewing his evidence, conversations swept under the rug, and the chilling looks from coworkers too afraid to speak. The quietness around him was deafening, a stark contrast to the chaos unraveling before him. Victoria's face paled, cheeks flushed with a mix of anger and disbelief as the realization that her power was slipping away dawned on her. Cordiv disintegrated, an outburst of humiliated panic spilled from her lips, but it felt hollow, desperate. Marcus allowed himself a small, invisible smile. This moment, his truth, was finally visible for all to see. Justice didn't scream. It lingered quietly in the air, settling like a thin fog, an unyielding presence of vindication in the wake of 100 hushed revelations. Tap. After the agents left, Marcus turned homeward, a sense of calm washing over him. Stepping inside, he found his daughter reading on the couch, her laughter infectious. He took a deep breath, grateful not just for his own relief, but for the newfound courage to reclaim a narrative that was never his to lose. As he hugged her close, the tension of the past months melted into a profound sense of quiet pride. As I sit in the quiet of my home, I can't help but reflect on the past few weeks, an unexpected journey through doubt, courage, and ultimately truth. I've faced accusations that could have shattered my career and reputation, but in the chaos I discovered a strength I didn't know I had. Standing up for myself wasn't just about defending my name. It became a powerful statement against a system that often silences voices like mine. Victoria may have thought she could manipulate the narrative, but I collected evidence, forged connections, and fought back. Not just for myself, but for anyone who has ever been dismissed or belittled. The mix of fear and resilience shaped my character, reminding me of the importance of integrity in even the most challenging situations. But here I am, still human, still questioning. Do you think I went too far? I would love to hear your stories. Have you ever faced a challenge that tested your sense of justice? Share your thoughts in the comments and let's discuss the complexities of right versus wrong. Together, we can strengthen our community and empower each other to speak out.